if they pass that bill, right, where they say we're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin price doubles overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, one of the guys on one of my spaces, this guy, Zach Resnick, he's actually working on part of the actual legislation. He's a lawyer. And he's like, he goes, Fred, he goes, this thing goes through. He goes, it's kind of like, it's like a nuclear bomb. It's sort of like, I go, so does it break the power law? He goes, yeah, it goes to 500,000 immediately, Fred. Like, that's it. Like, we're done. It's like, it breaks all models.
In the interview, we discuss Fred's Bitcoin price prediction for 2025, why he advises against buying a house, and why accumulating one whole Bitcoin should be your top priority before it's too late. Without further ado, let's dive in with Fred Krueger.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
I don't know for sure, but I think, look, there's a lot of things like that could happen. Another one is like no capital gains on Bitcoin.
True.
Like there's definitely I'm not saying it's a non-zero possibility to say there will not be any capital gains on Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple events that could happen in 25. The Middle East could announce that they're doing one of their sovereign wealth funds has allocated.
Or we have several of these events happening at the same time because
yeah,
these events are not independent, right?
That's true. That is very true.
You have the U.S. does a strategic reserve, while the Middle East will quadruple their strategic reserve, and Russia will do theirs, and like these things are all. It's all an interconnected thing. And it promises to be. On the other hand, if we don't get a strategic reserve, there's probably some of that's priced into the market, and some people will view it in the most negative possible way, and they'll be like, "See, I told you, we didn't get a strategic reserve. You got to sell that thing." And it's the Joe Carlosalis of the world, who claim that they're Bitcoiners, but who insist on betting people like me that the price is going to go down, So, I don't know. I do think, I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. I think we're going to have a good year, very good year with a lot of volatility. And I think at the end of the next year, it's going to be more clear that you should have been long a lot of Bitcoin in 2024. So, I just love Bitcoin. I think it's like the best thing. I've never been as emphatically in love with an asset as I have with Bitcoin. I think I don't think usually assets I want to talk about on Twitter or on YouTube. But Bitcoin is one of those special things. It's like, it's one of these things where once you discover it and you see how great it is, you really think that it could really change the world. And it could make you immensely wealthy as a byproduct.
It is the most entertaining space by far. When I really got into it in 2020, 2021, there has not been a day that I haven't looked either at the price or just the news surrounding it. And there's nothing else. There's no other topic that captures my interest besides
I tell
Bitcoin.
these people who, they're like, Fred, like I'm doing these spaces like every day. Like, how could you possibly, what is there possibly to say about Bitcoin? Like I go 2 hours a day. Like we were in this office, and this is my friend Ben over here.
Hi, Ben.
We had, we did some work in this office, and we had, Elizabeth Stark from Lightning Labs, right? The founder of Lightning Labs. She's like, I love these spaces, Fred. But how long you doing this? Once a week? And I go, no, every day, Elizabeth. She's like, how could you talk about Bitcoin every day for 2 hours? I go, I say, that's just me. But they keep on.
And then she's like, I want to produce an entire week. I want to do the guests for a whole week, maybe a month.
Yeah. She's like, I love these spaces. They're great. Like, how come you don't have this person and that person, this other dev on it? I'm like, well, let's get them on. But I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, especially if you're coming from the hardcore dev world, you don't have these meetings. We're not, we're not hardcore devs,
No.
Bitcoin fanatics.
Yeah.
That's all.
And there's,
But we love that stuff, and we enjoy talking about it and spreading the word and watching our Twitter account and YouTube accounts grow. It's great.
100% it is. And there's always, we do a daily newsletter, and people ask me, it's like, how can you write a 1,000+ word newsletter on it every day? And it's like, there's something every single day happening. There's something to cover. There's an event, and it genuinely is every single day something new has covered. That leads into one of my last questions for you. With Bitcoin hitting 100,000, we're getting a huge amount of new readers every day. And the most common email we get back and the most common question we get back is that it used to be a big thing about accumulating one whole Bitcoin. And everyone that is joining Bitcoin in 2024, they think they're too late. They're never going to be able to get one Bitcoin. Now the new goal is to get to 0.1 Bitcoin. What would your response be to people who think they've missed the boat? They're first getting into they've seen it hit $100,000. They're learning about Bitcoin. Their goal is to now is 0.1 Bitcoin at this point even a worthwhile thing for someone to aspire to get to?
They can get to one Bitcoin. What's wrong with one?
Well, some people, they think it's too far. They think it's too much to get to $100,000.
Yeah, look, the average house in Australia, for your information, is now selling for 10 Bitcoin. Okay?
True.
Most people, so like, they're sitting there going, 10 Bitcoin, I can buy a house for that. But one Bitcoin to hold, too much. Makes no sense. Okay, until we're up at $1 million per Bitcoin, they should have the idea of owning one Bitcoin. That's what they should do, right? You need to set if you don't set your sights at getting one Bitcoin, then you have to get to one. Like right now, that's the goal. You have to get to one Bitcoin. I think, and you should really claw, work. I don't know what you have to do to get to one Bitcoin, but you should figure out whatever it takes to get to one Bitcoin. Do whatever it takes. Sell a kidney, okay? Sell a kidney. I am not kidding. Sell a kidney. You have an extra one. Sell one of your kidneys. You might be able to get a Bitcoin for it. I'm not sure what the market is, but I don't know, but do something, but get a Bitcoin, this is like a major opportunity, especially young people. They don't realize how lucky they are right now. I didn't have Bitcoin when I was your age. It's great to have this opportunity to get big. Just make it a priority. The problem is people don't take it seriously. They're just spending all their time watching Netflix. Stop watching Netflix. Put the Netflix down. Get a second job. Stop watching real estate porn on, Zillow and looking at, this kind of crap and looking at some kind of, crappy house in Australia that you want to buy. No, just buy some Bitcoin and chill. Rent a studio somewhere, cheapest thing you can find, and sleep on a mattress. That's it. That's the right play, right? Stop with the creature comforts and the social stuff. Don't need it. You will thank me later. And your one Bitcoin might be worth $1 million in 10 years. Great. It's great. That's how you become a millionaire, It's still within reach. It's within reach of most of the people. I mean, maybe not if you're in, I don't know, some of your readers might be in Uganda or I don't know, someplace like that, right? Maybe not. Maybe one Bitcoin is a little bit much for them, right? But anybody who's listening to you in Australia or America, people spend a Bitcoin on a car, what are you talking about? I don't know. It's achievable. You just have to really prioritize it. I think you all can get to one Bitcoin. You have no excuse. It's like the Alex Baldwin said in Glenn Ross, your excuses are your own, pal. If you don't get to one Bitcoin, so I'll just send.
That is fantastic. Fred, thank you for everything. One final question, and we ended it on it last time, and I end all interviews on it. I asked it was not really Bitcoin related, your entrepreneurial and advice for success. Last time in our first interview, your answer was to focus on AI, but save in Bitcoin and put all of your savings into Bitcoin. Can you give me another kernel of wisdom or a entrepreneurial tip or a general tip for success in life? Because you've been able to have these huge outcomes and you've had so much success throughout your life. Could you give us one final tip to finish it?
I mean, I think my tip is more prediction. Machines are going to rule the world. You're not that important, right? Like 20 years from now, we're likely to just be our utility might be playing Frisbee, right? That's where we are. So we've got a limited shelf life. Our species has a limited shelf life, okay? By the end of your life, you are going to be completely and utterly useless. That's my prediction. So, you might want to really seriously get ahead of it with AI so that you should, again, quadruple down on your AI. You should learn to interact with AI. Whatever you do, you should be massively using AI for whatever you're about to do. And I think it's probably going to be the case that AI will replace everything in the world. So, most of the people they're just like Bitcoin. They're going to miss it because they're just watching Netflix, right? So stop watching Netflix. Stop with the YouTube and the TikTok. Useless, okay? The only thing you need to if you want to learn how to do something, learn how to make the computer do it for you, the AI. So let AI figure out AI, figure out how to get that, spend all your time on that, and then save all your money in Bitcoin. That's it. That's what you should do. And what worked for me is not going to work for you. What worked for me is starting companies and the entrepreneurial thing, or that's not for this generation. This generation does not need starting a company. You should not even the whole idea of starting a company, getting to venture capital, as all that stuff. I'm really successful in the horse and buggy business. They've invented the automobile now. My expertise is no longer useful. The new world is AI and cryptocurrencies. And I would say that, everything should be, those two things are the main thing, is the interaction of cryptocurrencies and specifically Bitcoin, but, all the transport layers and stuff around Bitcoin. You mentioned one, Polymarket, very good example, right, of something that's totally taking off, right? But, it's not Bitcoin, but, it's Polymarket. You could do it on Bitcoin, essentially. It's fine. It works. It's great. But, you have cryptocurrency, digital assets, I would say, and AI. Those are the two things where you spend all your time on those two and a little less time on learning how to make tacos or, renting out apartments in Manly Beach or whatever your parents and your friends think is the right move, because that's not the right move. The people making tacos will be some robot, made by Tesla. The Optimus will be making your tacos. And, the apartments are going to be mass produced by, they're going to be printed, by 3D printing, and they'll just be stacked on top of each other. We got to get rid of all this crap. Things are going to change dramatically in the next 20 years. And you should ride the wave and be ahead of the change. Don't repeat some existing playbook.
For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.